to TransWorld. This is TransWorld Live.
What's going on, everybody? It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Welcome to TransWorld Live. We are glad you are here. People are coming in right now. Nadine, congratulations. You are first comment of the night. Horror 365. We love seeing you. Festive Farmstead. Sean Fenner. Santa by Parker. Guys, welcome. Thanks for being with us. It's not our normal night. We're really excited to be here on a Wednesday. Obviously, a lot of travel had to play. And, you know, certain people like to lose their voice during big shows like TransWorld. So we had to do it an extra day late here just to make sure the aftermath was ready to present. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming in. People are making comments. Good to see you, Tim. Good to see you, Grant and Bobby and East Point and Wicked. We love to see you guys. If you are watching, and we love that you are, please sound off in the chat because we have no way of knowing that you are watching unless you let us know. So say hello to the chat, say hello to us, and make sure you comment because we've got a huge show for you tonight with a lot of big names. We're super excited. Before we get to that, we also always want to do our birthdays. Shout out yesterday on our normal Tuesday night to Franco Greasy. Happy birthday to him. Today, Michael Shaley, happy birthday to him. Tomorrow, Thursday, Kevin Crawford, Fred Harris, and Chunks. Saturday, Ken Spriggs and Jim Warner. And then Sunday, Luke Mays and Jeff Walker. Happy birthday to all of them. This is our official Aftermath show. Just a quick comment. Thank you so much to all of you that caught up with any of us and said how much you loved the show, that you watch it, that it's a part of your weekly routine. We love that. We can't do this show without you. And on behalf of all of us, thank you so much. I know we expressed it in person, but we want to let each of you know that it's pretty lonely just talking to yourself. So it's awesome when all of you are out there. And thanks for the love and the positivity. Well, without further ado, folks, we got a huge show and we got to start it off. The leaders of our company, so excited. It's our boss. We love him. Ladies and gentlemen, TransWorld's very own Jen and Rich. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you guys doing? You spent like a week before TransWorld getting there. How you feeling?
I'm really tired.
I feel great. I just want to show you something. You see in the background there, like behind us. I just want to thank Jade. She works for WeatherTech, and she got us some mats for our car, and I put them on our sofa back there.
I love it. Guys, this was an incredible TransWorld. I mean, people were flooding the aisles. People were so excited. Lots of great sales. I'm so glad that you guys have a moment to hang out with us and tell everybody that attended some direct communication and all of the love that people have for you guys.
Well, we're so appreciative that everyone came out. The show was amazing. It exceeded my expectations. I mean, when I went onto that floor on Thursday, I knew that the show had grown, you know, and I was staring at the floor plan, and I've been doing this, and not to age myself out, but for 30 years. So, you know, I know what it looks like, but when I still walked on that show floor that day and I saw obviously that the VIP lounge was off, and instead of having these bulk spaces back there, all the small 10 by 10 booths and everything else and all the amount of product and new exhibitors, it blew my mind. I happened to be with my dad as well, and he's like, oh my God. I mean, it was like insane. He's like, I cannot believe what the show started out at and what it is today. So it was amazing. And I just think all the support and love that we have from all of the buyers was just absolutely amazing. I know, these are some strange times that we're all living in, and the fact that we had so many people coming out there and supporting the show and buying from our exhibitors and enjoying our parties and coming to our seminars and just supporting us. And we all just really felt the love. I can't be more grateful, so I just really want to thank everyone for you guys make the show what it is, the buyers, the exhibitors. We get the honor of working with you guys. So thank you so much for everything, honestly. So I just want to say that. And I love everyone. And I'm just still blown away. I'm still overwhelmed by that show floor. Honestly, it was insane. So, I mean,
It really was.
Yeah. And the feedback has been so positive. Everyone's like, we saw a lot of new companies and it was just a really great show. And it was a beautiful show. I mean, I really felt like the exhibitors made beautiful booths. So
Yes.
I want to thank you guys for doing that as well, because you just made us look good.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
let Rich talk. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It is one thing real quick to just compliment and kind of piggyback on that. For weeks leading up to the show, we were kind of talking to everybody and you're looking at a map. You're just looking at a layout. And then once you see it in person, to your point, there was no more bulk storage. Rich did a fantastic job with filling every nook and cranny with amazing products and over 90 new ones for us to check out. And
Yeah.
that left people's heads spinning.
It did. I mean, as much as you look at a floor plan, when I got there and saw all that and every ounce of space that was sold, it blew my mind. I was blown away. So kudos to Rich for a great job. And, I think that's coming out. So, that really, wow. And I mean, I really want to take a minute too to thank all the speakers, because all the speakers did an amazing job. A lot of the feedback was, just out of this world. And I just really wanted to thank everyone for everything they did.
Very much agreed. Very much agreed. Rich, did it live up to all of your expectations? And you've been plotting and planning this for half of a year, maybe even more. And when you get to see it live and it's just jumping, does it feel the same way for you as the architect?
No. For me personally, like, it's always after the show ends, I'm always looking at how we can improve it. I mean,
Always.
Unfortunately, I'm a perfectionist and everything has to be perfect, so it never reaches that. What I'd like to see is that everybody in the comments, if people could comment on what they like the best about the show this year, anything from move-in to setup to booth stay saw to whatever, it'd be kind of cool to see people's comments and what they liked. Their personal favorite aspects of the show would be cool. Things that we did change for this year on the vendor side was the move-in. I want to thank our team for helping us put together an amazing move-in. I mean, we had so many compliments on that, and I think it actually relaxed the vendor on the show floor, made it a lot easier. We got some consolations from the union where they allowed us to use four-wheel carts this year. That really helped, and a lot of people were very excited about that. That was kind of cool. And just we appreciated the cooperation with all the vendors being kind enough to unload their vehicles, get back to their vehicles, move them, so the other 499 vendors could move in as well. So that was very helpful. We always have a few things, a few hiccups out there, but for the most part, almost everybody was very accommodating, very nice, and we appreciate that. There's always ways for improvement. Next year we'll look at working on the move out. We couldn't do anything about it this year because we actually intentionally wanted to see how it went on its own, and we kind of kept an eye on that. And there were some people that came and they were looking for our blue coats and stuff because of the amazing move in, and they wanted to see how it went. So it was pretty good on the move out. It wasn't terrible, but next year we have some ideas, and we'll actually be putting some people out there as well for the move out so that we can help make that a little better than previous years. So with all that, I mean, the show floor to me, it had an amazing flow. I noticed some major differences from years past, and it was kind of odd because we're used to the dark zone and those areas being jam-packed all the time. And it was kind of interesting to see how much traffic was at the back of the show. Now, granted, with the early access and VIPs getting in early, and the change in, like, so you get a group of people that come in at 9 o'clock and then another group to come in 11 o'clock. It's almost like time ticketing, and it changes things. So it makes a more smooth transition and a steady flow instead of the crowds we used to have. Some people missed it. Some people loved it. But, like, I think for next year, after a 2-year test, we are going to go back to everybody going in at the same time, because people just love that. They love the line. They love the crowds coming in and masses. And that was one thing that, feedback from some of our attendees. I mean, obviously, there's always people that love the early move-in, but getting into the show floor early. We may do something maybe a half hour early for the VIPs. We'll figure that out. They may get in at 9:30, and then all the general admissions get in at the regular 10 o'clock time that we've had for several years prior to the last two. But, I will tell you, we're going back to that because we just think that it was easier for everything. There's various reasons that we can explain on another show, but we think that people enjoyed that. So the early access pass will go away. We're not going to use that anymore. Beyond that, what we did notice, and I was trying to get to earlier, was in the back areas in Hall 4, it's usually a place, as soon as you get to the interactive area, it slows down, and people used to complain to me all the time, why am I back here? But I can tell you something, we actually saw a massive change in traffic flow this year. And it would be attributed to how the floor plans laid out and that people started figuring out to go through the Christmas door. The back area was very crowded, almost the majority of the show after everybody got in. And it actually kind of dispersed the traffic from the dark zone, where it was that area up there wasn't as packed all day long. It actually, to those folks, it seemed slower, but it actually wasn't, because the trade show floor is so much bigger.
It didn't feel as congested.
Didn't feel as congested. So we did get some people, some vendors that were like, it just seems so light in traffic and all that. And the interesting thing is it wasn't. It was actually the attendance was up, not a lot, but it was up. And we expected it not to be up a lot because of the political climate that's going on, tariffs and different things. And we did feel a little bit of that at the show. Everything's not perfect, and we don't want to sit on a show and tell you that it was an amazing show for everybody. I mean, there were issues with cost increases with the vendors. Some people said things were a little bit more expensive, but you can expect that because these tariffs and things that are occurring are affecting all of us, and we're seeing emails from other industries seeing the same thing, and we're hoping that stuff settles out for the future. But all in all, I will tell you, it's amazing. We've never had more contracts turned in for next year, meaning that people had very good shows, and they're already looking forward to their next year's show. We had a lot of smaller guys expand, which is exactly what we need in this industry. We want the new and upcoming guys to come out, and they start out small and they grow to bigger. And I don't think we've had a show with more increased inquiries for people to increase booth space, from vendors. So guys that have been there actually for like 10 years that actually want to increase, this year. Some of them, like, Pale Knights used to have a lot of booths in the past, but they now just sell perma blood. They don't do a lot of the set and scene design anymore, but they're looking to expand. Pretty Sinister, Purgatory Props, there's a lot of them, that look to increase. So it's kind of neat to see that. Trying to accommodate them all is hard. But, we obviously do the best we can. There's always going to be a couple guys that go down. The marketplace is the climate's getting a lot tougher, but it's good for the buyer because the buyer gets more options. You know what I mean? The hot things in our show are fog, mask, makeup, and animatronics. Those are the hot topics always. And I could tell you that the dark zone's never been more full with different types of vendors that offer, animations. And there's a lot of new makeup companies. There were a few new fog companies, and there were, new mask companies. We get so many every year. I mean, our top guys generally with, the highest end are obviously Immortal Mask, CFX, and Shattered FX. But there's a lot of new and upcoming guys that are coming in, on the Christmas side. Very cool. A lot of new products. We had a big company.
It looks beautiful. The Christmas show looked like gorgeous.
Yeah, we had a company come in from Greece, FDS Illuminations, and then many other companies that exhibited Lighted Up the Night Productions had a massive booth, and they increased their footprint. They took on a lot of distributorship from other companies. Moscow Designs always has an amazing booth. Christmas Designers,
Bascoyo.
Bascoyo. There's just so many. Buscoil Magical Light Show. There's a lot of companies that just bring a lot of really cool stuff, that we enjoyed from over there. The interactive area, I want to give a shout out to like Nicole, Benito, and the rest of the board from that area. I will tell you, the interactive area was the most poppin' area I have ever seen for that portion of the show. They brought a lot of life to it, and kudos to them. That part of the floor normally is an ebb and flow where it's either steady or dead, and it had a nice flow the entire show. I saw a lot of vendors back there. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys that are smaller vendors book late and you end up in that area. I've always had a lot of complaints about it because they think it's not a haunt area. It is, but it includes interactive entertainment. But this year, there were no complaints. I had a guy that was all the way in the furthest back position, and he said, "Thank you, and I do not want to move out of this spot." It was Rocksmith's Designs. He did amazing at the show, and he loved that he wasn't in all the hustle and bustle, because when people got back there, they really liked his booth. Other things I had, like some good positive things. I've had a lot.
And then don't forget the Christmas stage.
The Christmas, I didn't get to that yet. The entertainment side of it. Yeah, since Virginia put us there. I mean, there was a lot of interactive entertainment on the trade show floor. The Christmas stage really set apart from all the other stages that we offer, and there were some really great productions on there. The Christmas in Killarney and the Snowball and Flurry projection mapping, which put projection mapping on the map.
Oh yeah,
literally, at the show. Lumibot did amazing because of it, and we had BenQ there, which is probably the second largest projection company in the world, and they did amazing. I talked to the guy; he's actually considering going to East Coast, so it's interesting. With all that being said, we did see some different buyer trends, because we always want to talk about that. What we've noticed about TransWorld, and like in the past, everybody's come to TransWorld and they've always believed that they should write 90% of their sales, and they did for many years. But I came from a lot of different industries. I originally used to play paintball, and I came from that industry, and I was really well known in that industry, and owned a couple retail stores and a paintball field and different things. And the interesting thing about those types of shows is the industry trade show was always the place where you saw all the new products released, and people came to see those products released. And for whatever reason, the haunt industry has not always been that. It's always been the place where everybody came to buy their stuff. We've seen a shift in that, and like the show is now becoming like all other industries. You want to introduce your new products, have your best sales, things like that, to attract people there. But these buyers are buying all year now. It's completely shifted. They're buying all year, and that's what we've found after digging in deep this year, talking to a lot of vendors. They're noticing that it is more important for them to go to the other shows, because these haunts there's so much on the show floor that they literally can't buy everything at TransWorld anymore, and they don't have time. They go see everything, they assess it, and then they go back and they buy. So like if you are a vendor, you really have to do your homework. You really need to collect data. You really need to get every contact you can on the show floor, because it is the start of your business. It is the start of the season, and it is the starting place for you to start taking orders. But do not think that it ends at TransWorld. It continues. It continues on. So you have to build a strong brand at our show, and then you want to continue that on through the year. And I can tell you, some of the other vendors that'll come on here this evening will tell you that their business has shifted. They're now selling all year long. They have sales at the end of the year. They have sales at different times. But predominantly, most people have their best sales at the trade show, because that's part of why they want you there. They want you there for the education, the networking, on all of it. But just be aware of that. If you are a vendor, we try to educate you on how to be successful. Don't think that just because you did a massive amount of sales at TransWorld that it's over. You are going to get more calls. You're building your brand, and that's how it's going to go.
And you should follow up on your leads. And Rich is right. Getting the lead retrieval at the shows too is so important. This year, when I was speaking to Expo Tools, that's the company that provides them, he said that we had the most amount of lead retrievals ever. And I just think that's great, because when we exhibit at trade shows, that's what we do, and it gives you a chance to really follow up with things and make sure that those people that you did interact with can then, turn into sales later on down the road if they didn't turn into them at the show. Yeah, and then what's interesting is like, I look at the show, and I look at the
of this too from the Christmas industry. Those guys have a completely different selling cycle than what we have. They come to the show and some of them have massive booths. They got 30 booths and they're like, I didn't write an order. They don't write an order, but they collect 130 potentials. And and when somebody's going to drop $300,000, they're not going to be doing it at our show. They're going to come in and they're going to see what you can do at our show. And they're going to go from there and say, you know what, this guy can really bring it. This is the kind of cool stuff that I want to put on my event. And then they take that back. And you know what, from being a seller of selling TransWorld at other places, when I do a ton of trade shows that we go to try to bring in buyers and vendors for the show. When we go there, it's like, it can be a 2 to 3 year cycle. I can go on there and I can literally go ahead and like see somebody 3 years ago, and all of a sudden they come back to TransWorld because 3 or 4 buyers said, you should be at TransWorld. And I talked to them 3 years ago, and next thing you know, they're coming in. So just understand, we're trying to educate as well here for our vendors to know that you are constantly building a database and you're constantly building clients that they may not buy from you today, but they may buy from you tomorrow. So just keep that in mind as well. But
yeah, no, we definitely had a lot of conversations with a lot of exhibitors and buyers because we want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. And Rich and I were even talking about it because we haven't done it in a while, creating a survey and sending it out to exhibitors and buyers to kind of, get some of their opinions on things. It's an interesting time that we're living in right now. So, we want to be able to change with the times too and get your feedback on how, on a broader scale, how the show went for everyone. So you should probably be expecting that in the next, week or so as well, that'll come out.
Yeah, and even what's interesting is like we had some compliments from people. I've never had this before where we've had so many phone calls, emails, and stuff where, wow, what an amazing show. I had so many options. That's what was interesting about the floor, is that people had so many more options to purchase from that maybe some of your customers, your normal ones, might not have bought from you because they bought from someone else, but you had so many new ones that bought from you, and it all worked out. But it was kind of cool. Like, one company bought 18 different booths out. They bought every single thing on the floor from 18 different vendors because they were new vendors that they never seen before. And they were like, man, I want all this stuff in my hunt. These were new things. One piece of advice, if I could give to everybody that exhibits at our floor, especially the people that have been there for a long time, the biggest thing that I've heard from most buyers is we want new stuff. We don't want the same old stuff. So if there's anything you can take away from this show and from the history of this show, is you got to bring it. You got to bring it at TransWorld, and you got to bring your new stuff at TransWorld, because this is the industry show. And if you don't bring new things, you have so much competition with the size of that floor now, you may get passed over. So bring it new, and the guys that bring it new, literally kicked it out of the park. And I'm going to name somebody specifically. So Matt from Dust Productions, nice kid, been in vending with us for several years. He had an amazing booth. Okay, he went ahead and built an amazing facade, and he brought it. His props were amazing. He stepped it up to a level that is way beyond he's ever done before, and he does all our shows. But I can tell you something, that kid doubled his sales. He said it was double the number of any TransWorld he's ever had. And I'll be honest, Matt's a critic to me, and he always lets me know, the bad. You know what I mean? Love the guy, but he wants to move to a better spot. He wants this. And I don't begrudge him for that, because everybody wants to be at the front door where they think they're going to do the best. But the guys that are at that front door are there for a reason. They've been at the show for 20 years or longer, and they seniority their way up there, and that's why they're there. But Matt, pleasantly surprised, he ended up staying in the same booth again for the 3rd year in a row. And the last 2 years, he's complained to me about it and blamed it on booth location. And little did he realize it was his product. He changed the way he displayed his product. He changed the quality of the product, and it changed everything. His sales skyrocketed. So take that advice. And like people like that, we want to bring on the show in the future, because it's mine and Jen's job to make sure that the buyer's successful and the vendor's successful. And that's kind of why we're doing this. It is the aftermath for us. We want to let you know what we heard from other vendors. We want to let you know what we heard from other buyers. The buyer feedback was amazing, without a doubt.
It was.
There are a couple larger vendors that maybe their sales went down a little bit this year, but it's attributed to many things. We can say the economy, we can say Mardi Gras, we can say, like the size of the show floor, we can say the competition.
The other thing too is there was a lot of people that Rich and I were looking at when we were reviewing the list that we didn't have a lot of the amount of overseas buyers that we normally have. They weren't there this year. There was still some, but it wasn't the amount we normally have. So we did notice, that as well.
Yeah,
So,
we did see a drop off.
we try to dig into everything too, and kind of, we don't know what it's like until the show's over, until we see, because people sign up for the show, but that doesn't mean they pick up their badges. So we look to see, did all these people sign up but not come? What's going on, with everything right now? But, it was interesting. There was a bunch of people that I did notice from overseas that did sign up and just didn't end up coming. So there's some weird stuff going on too.
Yeah, and Benito's on her later with Nicole, and like I think it was him that told me he called us like maybe a week or two before the show, and he was like, "So there are a bunch of Canadians like canceling coming and stuff, and as we know, like there was a 25% tariff tax on Mexico and Canada, and like I don't pay attention to politics anymore. I've given up on that, but I pay attention to what my vendors are doing and what the traffic flow of a floor and things like that, and all that stuff matters to me. And I found it interesting that he was saying that, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but apparently he was right. There were quite a few Canadians that didn't come to the show. So we did see that happen. And like, we're noticing even with IAPA, they're sending out emails and they're nervous about, the international contingent. So we did see a little bit of decrease in international buyer this year. And we hope that returns again back to next year based on these problems, that we're foreseeing. And in all honesty, it's going to cause an increase in prices from our vendors. A lot of these guys the bigger guys order stuff out of China. So their prices are going to go higher, and the little guy is flourishing from this kind of stuff because they are American made. They are making stuff in the United States. And listen, we're all about supporting America and everything like that. But like, unfortunately, the economy functions on several factors, and it's not just what's made in America.
Yeah. So Rich and I wanted to come on tonight, not just to talk and be like, oh, the show's so great. Everything's so great. These were things that we just started digging in deep, and we had a lot of conversations. And, we wanted to share some of the information that we found, not only from our own database, but from talking to other people as well.
Yeah, and Chris, you can look over some of these comments and see.
Yeah.
People are saying here,
So,
It is. And lots of good comments. I mean, that's, on the overall, like lots of great comments, but people agreeing with everything that you guys are saying.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of new stuff, man. And you know what? Kudos to those new guys that brought some cool shit that people never seen before, because I am blown away at how many guys that I've never met before. Because I usually know every vendor on the floor, and I know, the fright props, the ghost rides, the Gore Galore, all these guys. I know all of them, and the guys that are getting stronger and coming up as hallucination creations. There's a lot of guys that are like mid-tier guys now that are becoming stronger, and then the little guys that it was cool to see some little guys that came to the show, took the risk, took the plunge to spend that money and do the big show and killed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like interesting thing is, like we're not trying to ever push other shows or anything like that. Obviously, we're a business just like anyone else, and we want you to attend our shows. But I think Jen and I are very honest about it. And there's some guys, and I'm just like, yeah, Midwest and East Coast might not be for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just TransWorld because they're a bigger company. But you know what? It's not like that anymore. The difference is these haunts are buying all year long.
Yeah.
And they're spreading out their buying. And I know it stinks to have to do more than one show, but unfortunately, it's kind of interesting that's happening. That if you're a vendor and you do well at TransWorld, and that's your bandwidth, don't do another show. If you can't provide enough product or be able to fulfill orders, please don't do any of our other shows and come out there and make yourself look bad by taking orders you can't fulfill. But if you can, and you can get all those orders done for TransWorld, East Coast and Midwest are great delivery shows. They're great places where you can bring product for customers that bought from me, or great selling points to say, hey, order from me here and I'll deliver to you at East Coast, or I'll deliver to you at MHC.
Sure.
Okay? They're great places for you to do that kind of stuff where you can deliver and then bring additional product. And you're going to see haunts that, maybe they bring 5 people to TransWorld, but they're bringing 50 to a smaller show because it's in their backyard or affordable or whatever the reasons are. They're going to go to the regional show and they're going to go to TransWorld generally, but it gives you a chance for, okay, maybe I didn't make the sale, to whoever's haunting them and abandoned, let's say, in Wisconsin or whatever. Maybe I didn't make my sale there, but then they show up at Midwest, and I see them a second time, and I made the relationship, and then I make the sale there. So it's good follow-up.
It's the second time to see him. And the other thing, and I don't know if it was Rich or if it was Larry or maybe it was both of them that were talking too, that, you may have a little bit more money come April after, getting.
Yeah, Larry actually said that.
You know,
Larry says very few things that I believe in. I'm just kidding. Actually, Larry, in all honesty, is a very smart person. His delivery is not the best all the time, but he actually does know a lot about what he's talking about. And he did mention that, the show being a little bit earlier this year, a lot of guys didn't have their tax returns yet, and a lot of smaller hunts depend on that. So, the larger guys and the mid-sized guys, they have a budget and they know what they can spend generally before they come to TransWorld. But the little guy, that money that they get back from their tax returns is a big deal. And you're going to see that at 2 other shows, or you're going to get follow-up calls later on when they get that money in. So, some things.
Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just things that Rich and I, we just got home Monday night, but, just been talking, things through and stuff like that. And those are just some things that came to mind that we wanted to bring up on the show.
Yeah. No, lots of love from the chat, obviously for both of you, but also for the insight and the transparency. It's always great when you guys are able to come to the table and always give them the truth. And we love that about you guys. And I know all of our attendees and our buyers and our exhibitors do as well.
No, we appreciate it. And I really do want to, I know we thanked them already, but I really want to go back and thank Jeffrey Holmes for really all of his hard work and everything he did on that Christmas stage to try to help bring our vision to life.
Yeah.
And I really, really want to thank especially Nicole and Benito and the whole interactive board for really taking an area that was kind of dead and really bringing it to life. And Benito made this great directory and spent time, his own doing it. And honestly, it really made a difference in the show. I mean, it really, really did. And we really just want to let everyone know that we're appreciative of their efforts, and it really showed. And, people made a lot of comments, and that area was booming. So thank you guys,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys get a chance, like in the chats, we love to see comments. Throw out, your love for your favorite vendor out there. The ones that you've seen and loved. Just post your vendors that you love seeing, and ones you bought up, new guys, old guys that have been there forever. Let us know who you enjoyed seeing at TransWorld.
So thank you, and thank you to the TransWorld buyer board as well, the HAA board, because it was amazing. They helped participate with so many things, and especially the networking night out, they did a wonderful job. And I really want to thank our sponsors. I mean,
yes.
But what Boscoyo designed, what James and his crew designed for that entryway was amazing for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was so beautiful, and as well as
the VIP,
having Barcana and some of those things down there for Christmas, walking through things, and the archway, and
Universal Concepts.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just did such a good job, and Ticket Spice for all the things that they've done, and Froggy's for, my God, always being and having our back, and the 360 booth and all the different elements we layered in. The show wouldn't be what it is without our sponsors as well. So, and 13th floor built. I don't know if you guys loved it as much as me. I'm obsessed with what was in the rotunda. I'd like it in my front yard. I asked Chris Stafford if he could build me a small one. I thought it was really, really neat with the pumpkin. And I was fascinated by it. So, I just really felt like everyone brought their game this year.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
13th won best booth design this year. So their carnival design on the trade show floor was amazing. A bunch of people won awards, for best booths. So it was kind of cool. IWG won it in the interactive area, and Light It Up Tonight Productions won it in or Shine, which is two companies that were exhibiting in that booth. They won it for best booth in Christmas. So it was kind of cool. And
it was hard this year to pick. There was a lot.
Yes.
Everyone really brought their game, and I want to thank everyone too who created product for the tribute store. That was great. And I think the show was great. I really do. And I just appreciate everyone for helping us create this amazing event. So thank you. I literally work all year for those 4 days. I really do. And you guys just made us look so good. So thank you.
Yeah. And even guys like Dembski, man,
yeah.
I got to give Michael Shaley the props on that, because he's been telling Brian for a long time to, he's so talented to step it up and do something amazing. And Dembski went with 4 booths this year, and he built a facade and had stuff inside it, and his booth was amazing, literally amazing.
No, it was great. And I did want to thank, and I don't know if you guys got a chance to attend it or not, the safety seminars that were put on by Billy Grunsfeld and Tim Gavinsky, to try to help educate people with some of the environment that's going on as well.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. And, I wanted to thank as well the association for putting on a great auction, as well as the Oscars and, everything. I just thought all the way around was just, it was just great.
Great
I
show.
thought it was very smooth. Some years we get some hiccups. This year I thought it was pretty smooth.
Love it,
So
guys.
that's my feedback. And I really want to thank the TransWorld Live team.
Yes.
Let me start by saying that Chris and the team worked tirelessly to try to cover as much of the floor as they could, get as many interviews as they can. Hopefully a lot of this footage you guys will start to see throughout the year. I want to give him a shout out. He worked really closely, with our team as well to try to get better footage and create some new
stuff. It was interesting. I got a couple.
Oh no. Robert's going to work his magic to get them back here. Hang on with us here for a second here. But Shaylin, thank you so much. And Scare Hollow and Naomi and Stacy. Oh my gosh. Guys, you're awesome. And DJ and Oz and Sammy. Oh my gosh. And Stacy as well. And holy cow, the comments are great. Keep them rolling here. There we go.
We're back.
Thank you, Robert.
Where I was just saying that, I lost my train of thought, but I did actually lose my train of thought.
I do that all the time. But no, I mean, I think overall everything was great. And I just really want to thank everyone. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I remember what it was. So interesting thing is I got a call from a couple of different buyers that couldn't make the show. And they said the filming is so important to them. And, even as a TransWorld Live team, they like a complete walkthrough of every single booth. And I know that requires a lot of time because the show's so big now, which is something we want to focus on for the future, to even if we're not interviewing every booth, to go by every booth and show the company names and show what they sell. You guys as vendors really need to have your company names prominent. You need to make sure that it is seen because the filming of the show is super important. I know a guy specifically that bought off Brock Smith Designs because he saw a video of their booth and what they sold, and he bought it, after he's seen what they had in there. So that's really cool to hear those kind of things, that they're seeing products like that. They're looking for new stuff. So even guys that don't show up to show, you don't understand that when you bring it to the show, these guys see videos, they see stuff that people are filming, and it gets put out there, and they buy it, and they buy it all year long. If I had $1 for every person that called me and said, I saw this mask in this booth and blah, 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 and there's no sign, I don't know who they are, you'd be amazed. You definitely need to have your name everywhere because everything is social media now at our show. There is so much filming at it, and it is a great aspect. I know it's frustrating sometimes when guys come around to film you, but I am not kidding you. It goes a long way, and you should take the time to get your company out there because every video that is out there of your products goes a long way for people to buy things.
No, Rich is on point with that.
He's right on there.
Yeah, no, he's right. And I want to thank, what I didn't think? I didn't thank my entire staff. So, I'd like to thank, Rich and Stephanie and Anne-Marie and Claire and Jim, who's been amazing. If, some of the speakers got a chance to work with him.
Our blue coats.
All
the blue coats
teams, Nicole, our extended staff, everyone who's just done so much staff to make the show what it is today. And I wanted to give a shout out to John the Flamboy. That movie, was amazing, and the feedback on it was great. So, we appreciate all these elements just help to really make such a great show. So
standing room only, or should we say sitting room only?
You guys don't have enough time, so
no, we're great. This is good stuff, and people are loving it. Holy cow. Lots of love, lots of great comments to the entire TransWorld team. So thank you. It is a team effort, but we couldn't do it without the leadership of both of you.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, we'll let you guys go. I know you've got a bunch of other people to interview tonight. Thank you a lot. Thank you for allowing us to give our feedback, and we love you guys.
Well, on behalf of everybody watching, we love you. So thank you so much for all you do, because we know you do it for us. So thank you.
And we'll see you in a few weeks on the East Coast.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to tease? We are going to come back on Tuesday and start the road.
God, there's so much.
I mean, I'll just tell you, I should have the exhibitor list done. The contracts are coming in so fast that it's hard for me to get everybody up, and I am blown away that are coming. I will tell you that show floor will be massive, and we did at Christmas this year. That is almost sold out as well. It's going to be kind of cool. There's a lot of DIY stuff if you want to learn to decorate your home or do different things and buy Christmas elements for your home. There's going to be some really cool stuff there. On that side, there's 2 different sequencers that are going to be in that hall teaching X lights and Lightorama. We're seriously considering doing some business training for light installation. So if we're able to pull that off, we're going to add that to it as well. There will be parties, events, and all that on the Christmas side, along with Halloween. So in
the tours, I've gotten a lot of questions just so I can answer. The tours are up. So you've got your Thursday pre-tour up, Friday, and you've got Saturday night party at Eastern State. So if you guys have any questions,
Hershey Park, this year.
Feel the Screams. You have a lot of amazing things that are going on. So check the website. I'll be populating it more with itinerary over the next week, and seminars should be up hopefully by next week. So we're super excited, and just check the website and we'll start sending out email blasts. But
next Tuesday, we'll be doing our road to East Coast. So we'll probably start that, and we'll probably introduce, I'm hoping to have the floor plan live by then. I don't know if but I'll definitely have the exhibitor list. So we'll have that.
I'm glad you said that, because we did get a few questions on how things are going to be laid out. We should totally wait to answer that until Tuesday.
Yeah, let's wait for Tuesday night. We'll show you kind of like how the layout's going to be with the 2 shows together. And we did have some people asking us if there's VIP, because the lines were insanely long last year for the show. We're considering it, trying to figure out a way to do it.
It may be more like a fast pass than a whole VIP, just to get people in.
Yeah, it was wrapped around the building.
We're trying to work it out with our team. I couldn't clear the line fast enough. So we do have more counters this year coming, but we are thinking about doing a fast pass. So we will let you know as well.
Don't we open registration the night before the show opens? It would be great if you're in town to come over and get your check in, because that will save a lot of time for us and you to get right on the floor. So if you can come over and get your credentials and start, get your wristbands so you can get in the show the night before, that will be amazing, because that will save time at lines, and that'll be your VIP right there. Because you can pick up your stuff the night before. It'll be huge. And we may consider keeping registration open later on the day before, just for that fact, because there's going to be some training and things like that being done for both Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah, and we are going to be adding seminars, something new. And then this is the last thing I'll say. Friday morning, we're going to be adding seminars for Halloween, which we didn't have last year. We got a lot of requests to do more training at the East Coast show. So I'm going to try to get all that done.
All right, guys. Have fun.
No small feat. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. And so much more to come. Like, we obviously, as they just talked about, Tuesday night, we will be diving into East Coast haunters. So thank you both. And before we bring on our host of other guests, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, Ticket Spice. We love Ticket Spice. Thank you again for being the premier show sponsor of TransWorld Live. We appreciate you. All right, we got a host of guests here. We're gonna bring them on in no short order here. Let's open the floodgates here. Starting from Froggy's Fog, let's bring in Kate, Nate, and Tate. We love them. From Intrigue X, Nicole Ginsburg. From Durham Escape Rooms, Benito, Suppa. From IWG, otherwise known as Ironwood and Glitter, Jeffrey Holmes. And from Santaland and Father to Layla, it's Shane Dabbs.
You got it.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Very good. Did we lose Tater in the?
Where's Tater? Come on, Tater Tot, let's go.
I think we lost him.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on.
There he
I don't know.
is.
They announced me and then they just said you're in punishment. So
That's what happens when Robert controls the button.
that's right. Robert controlled the button, and I've made Robert mad.
But the best part is that Tater's there, but we have his sister here.
Oh. Oh, look at that. Surprise cameo by Katie Lane. Love it. Well, guys, how was TransWorld for you? We just got a chance to talk to Jen and Rich. You heard it all in the green room there. Tell us in your own words, how was this year's show?
Insane, busy, crazy. No sleep team, I guess. Team no sleep. I don't know about anyone else, but we're on team no sleep over here.
Yeah.
Right. I've got 8 more orders to enter, and that's it.
Wow.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then I get to the declined and no credit card information. So I'm looking at you, Quinn. I'm looking at you. No credit card information.
I'll say this for us. I mean, for the third straight year, we didn't sit down on a Saturday. It was pretty much constant. So it was very good. Let me address something real quick while it's on my mind. And I know Tater's feelings is hurt because he didn't get mentioned a while ago, but I mean, it's Tater, you know. But as far as me goes, and me not getting mentioned by Rich and Jen, clearly I'm that family member that they hide upstairs when company comes over. Because not one time was my name ever mentioned. It did give me time to finish up my fans only footage over here while Rich and Jen was talking. But yeah, I'm just glad to know that, well, I guess Tater is too, but I'm not the only family member that gets hid upstairs. No.
Me and you, Shane, we got a suite up in the attic, buddy.
I know, right? All jokes aside, I don't, you know, they know they don't need to mention me. I am part of the family.
Yes.
I am
Very much so.
I am the one that's hid, but I am the one in the family. So I don't need a thank you, but I did thought I'd have some fun with that one.
Well, you know, the first step of recovery is admitting you're the problem.
That's exactly right. That's right.
I'm not the problem. I just got forgotten about, get forgotten about. So
Yeah, but you was adopted. I am part of it. You was brought in from something else, somewhere else.
A swamp.
So that's
parts unknown, Shane. Parts
right.
unknown.
That's understandable for you, Tater.
Forget Shane's extracurricular activities. We need a reality show, guys. Look at that.
Can you just imagine what that would be, Nicole? Like in the live.
Oh my god. Yes. Yes, I actually can.
Yeah,
I would like
TransWorld
to-
2026. We have obstacle courses on the floor.
Yes, we could be
Don't
like a
tempt me.
challenge. We could have like our
Don't
own
tempt
version
me.
of like MTV's The Challenge over
Oh
here.
my god.
Trying to
All I
bring
can
the slap
think about
fights to
is
the back alley.
traitors.
Ooh.
Own version of traitors.
Oh, that would be dangerous. Like that. Oh, that would
Yes,
just
it
get
is.
messy.
People don't talk to each other afterwards.
No, that would
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
like
As me, Benito, and Nicole have figured this out, we've lost a lot of friends in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Don't hate me because you hate me. But anyway, TransWorld. I'll start off.
Thank you, Nicole.
Fantastic for me. It's interesting. Jen and Rich really touched on this, and I think a lot of other vendors have too, at least from where I stand and I've talked to, is that it was a weird vibe this year. There was a lot of people. I mean, just a ton of people, a lot of interest, a lot of conversation. What's interesting to me is how much business I've closed from Monday to today already, which is insane. And to me, they were bigger things than what were being offered on the floor, right? They were larger, much more detailed conversations that needed to be had. And I thought, again, it's interesting. We brought a newer product and we were, kind of not knowing how that was going to go. And instead that sparked some pretty crazy conversations. And I don't know, from that side of things, I think things went pretty amazing.
That's
Why are you
awesome.
laughing?
That's awesome. I mean, Rich may have commented in the chat there.
Rich is commenting.
Oh!
So Rich did say, for those that are just listening, Shane and Tater, that was intentional.
Nice.
Nicole, that's wonderful, honestly.
No, and like Nicole, I honestly have to agree with you. Like, we're actually, me and Nate are in Columbus right now, and that's why Katie is here, because Katie
And
had
Katie,
to bring part of our booth from TransWorld to us, because it wouldn't have made it from TransWorld to Columbus in time. So Katie
For the
had
record,
to put
I
our
locked
booth
my
in her
doors.
car and brought it to us here in Columbus. But the fact is that I was at dinner with Tater tonight, and we were talking about his orders and where he's at with getting his orders in. And I said, "Are you getting orders outside?" And he was like, "Yeah, I have an order in my email," and he showed it to me. And yeah, it's a buyer that we normally see, but he literally said, "Sorry, I didn't make it back. The show floor was so big.
Yes,
that's why I'm emailing you my order now," because he's just like, "I didn't make it back."
That's actually a really great, yes.
It's a
Me
good
and
excuse, right?
Me
Yeah,
and Shane were
like-
talking, like, we usually get a time to step out of our booth and see each other. Like, I will go make a point to get a picture with a monkey and Shane. If I feel like it. But earlier today, I was mad at Jeff because he never brought the Irish girls to the booth so I could meet them.
Dancers, Irish dancers. Let's be very clear about that.
To meet them, they could have Irish danced their way down the aisle, but no, I didn't get to see Shane. I didn't get to see Jeff. I barely saw Nicole, and that's when I literally threw a blender at her forehead. Benito only got me snacks like in nighttime. I didn't get to see any of these people during the show floor because I was so busy sitting there writing orders, and that's a great thing to have.
I think Tater and we sent like text messages apologizing. I'm like, dude, I didn't even get to see you. Like, I know you had even brought presents. Didn't even get a chance to pick them up.
Yeah, didn't even get to print them. It's okay. They ate them.
I figured. Cool. All I saw you was at networking night out, but I didn't see you the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
And I saw Jeff and Shane during build when we were over in our
I think I
Christmas
waved
booth.
to Shane as he like ran by. I think I saw Jeff for like 2 hot seconds. I was like, hi. And then we were gone. Chris, I got to work with you for like all of, I think, 42 seconds.
Yes.
But I will tell you though, Benito is sick of me. I can officially say that.
Never.
But that's just the show was that busy.
It was, but it was also that like good in a lot of ways. Like,
Yes. Now,
Sorry, go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I know that everybody's got a different opinion about all kind of which booth was best, which product was best. We may all be able to agree that the most adorable part of the show, Layla, Shane's monkey.
Yeah, Layla, like literally Layla's outfits. Let's just talk about that.
I've got to say, I can't take credit for my little sister. That's totally my mother there, but anyway, hey, I do want to say something because everybody's talking about. Clearly, we were all busy and we couldn't get to see each other or anything. That just goes to show you what we were actually doing. Y'all know me. I'm gonna speak when I need to speak, but I ain't gonna kick a dead horse or anything. But if you watch certain podcasters or anything, sometimes you'll see where people's going to comment about it not being busy or the declining or anything. Where were they at? Outside the building? Behind the building?
Right?
I mean, were they? The only place I could think of they were at was outside behind the building. I mean, nobody was out there. But if they would have came in and walked around and seen all of us, then they would have probably had a different viewpoint of that. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't know where they get that at. But maybe they wasn't even at TransWorld. Maybe they was at another convention. They just got it confused with TransWorld. That's just me.
Amen.
I will say this.
Yes, Stacy, I agreed.
The younger YouTubers that were there, I know particularly Tyler G was there. He came into our booth. He wanted to be educated about our products. He wanted to talk to us about everything going on. He was thirsty for information. He was anxious and excited about being there and showing off everything. So my hat's off to the younger bloggers and videographers that wanted to know more about what we were doing. And Froggies, and I can't speak for everybody else, but we will always have time to take a time out and talk to you guys about our things.
Oh yeah, those kind of people are great. I mean, they're kind of free advertisement for you, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, yeah, people like that. That's free advertisement. You know,
Even
the
dancer from last year was back in our booth, and he signed the banner for us. So
That's awesome.
if you all remember last year, the dancer, he was back.
Yeah.
That was the one that was at my room. I think that was Friday night.
Don't admit that, Shane. Don't admit that.
Why did I agree to come on this show?
Oh, that's where we fell off.
Well, I actually do want to touch on the one thing where you were talking about kind of like the next generation of haunters, right?
Yes.
You know, I was lucky enough to bring a large amount of people with us, and again, they're all of our managers, but we have some younger managers, including my niece who turned 18 at TransWorld, actually. But
I stayed away.
Yes, you did. Now, I also didn't let her near you, but that's fine. That's two different things.
Groups of people saying happy birthday to her. So
yes, exactly. Multiple times. Thank you, Benito.
Multiple times.
What I want to say is how hungry for information they were, right? And wanting to be in the classes. And then I also have to give shout outs to the speakers who acknowledged that and took extra time, or was like, hey, I saw you in the class and I saw you had a question, and like pulled aside and just continued conversation. You know, that to me, I absolutely love. And that's something that, as somebody who has spoke before and has been a vendor and all the things, it is so incredibly important. And like when you're talking about, you know, especially the younger YouTubers and the younger content creators, they're the ones who are out there pushing out the information, you know, and as another point and another caveat, we spoke to a lot of like almost what you would classify as kids at our booth. But they were also the ones that were then bringing their parents over who owned this or that, or, you know, all of these different things. And the reason I really bring it up is today, one of my phone calls that was later in the day was because their kid had saw what we were offering, and they had major questions about what we do all together. And it was just an interesting correlation to kind of watch that happen.
Yeah. I mean, even to the fact that a kid that has been coming to the show for years, Field of Screams, Montana, Quinn, won an award from the HAA for his haunt. And he came into our booth and placed a rather large order with us this year. You know, congratulations and hats off to him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the industry needs more people like you.
Have y'all noticed some of the most random cool people can be at that show, and you just can't expect it. It was on Thursday,
like Benito, Shane, like Benito,
like Benito,
you know, on Thursday that was that Failed Entertainment. You know, they own Disney on Ice and Ringling Brothers and all. They had seen those merchandisers with, you know, that I was doing, the life-size ones like the Rudolph ones and the Grinch and all, and they wasn't interested in that, but they loved that concept of, you know, being able to put the plush stuff and the kids could just get it. But long story short, we're fixing to do a bunch of custom stuff for their tour that's going to be starting up this fall, their Disney on Ice stuff. And it's just so weird that, you know, you wouldn't think sometimes people like that would be at the show, and it's just some of the most random people that you can meet. It turns out to be like really, really cool people.
Yeah, I'd have to say that the biggest takeaway that I had at the show, I mean, I don't have a booth, right? So I'm not a vendor. I just sit on the board for the interactive side, and I help Nicole and Jen and Rich, you know, curate certain things. So first of all, the attendance was steady. It seemed a little bit lesser at first, and then as you're sitting there watching, like even from the Lounge and Learn, like you just see the constant stream of people walking by. But the thirst for knowledge and the content that was delivered this year, like just having the lounge being bursting at the seams when you have a guy like TJ sitting there talking, and there was like 30 or 40 people. And the fact that he gave his time for free to sit there and educate people on their process, right? So the community, you as Jen and Rich like to say, you're never going to make everyone happy. And we all know that as business owners, that there's always going to be someone who didn't like a certain element here or there. But the overall feedback has been grossly positive because people are asking for specific things to be happening. And Jen and Rich and the boards, all three of the boards are listening and delivering that content and delivering that experience, right? So kudos to all of you guys for sitting there and writing sales. I had the opportunity this year, more so than in previous years, to actually walk the floor because I didn't have as much to do in the lounge this year. And I would say that my only feedback is the corn dog guy has to be right in the middle beside the lounge where I hang out. Because that was, it was my kid's first time on the floor, and he had two. So, he's like 4 foot, and he put 2 foot long corn dogs into this little frame. I don't know where it went, but
there needs to be some therapy after the show about these people. And I know we can't go there because needs to be a G-rated show, but that eat this corn dog when you're sitting there as a vendor.
Stop making eye contact with people while you're eating the corn dog. Eat your corn dog. Move on with your life.
When you're seeing some of these people enjoying this corn dog way more than they should be, it just gets you to thinking something's just.
There you go, Rich. Now Rich has a whole new avenue of business to chase after for vendors. It's therapists.
A private corn dog eating lounge where it's all.
So what I'm hearing is you guys need a little mobile corn dog cart, maybe one of those little baskets that go. All right, never mind, guys. Nobody can do it. I'm gonna do it.
If we're gonna have
corn dog courier service.
Yeah, if we're gonna have those challenges on the floor, the corn dog eating challenge has to be one of them.
Yeah. I have never seen more people use their corn dog as pointers.
Yeah.
And just randomly flap it around and almost knock somebody out with a corn dog stick before in my life than this year.
Put
it in your belly. Move on with your life.
I definitely was using it for navigation. People would ask directions in the Christmas area, and I'd be like, "You go past the corn dogs, and we're to the left." It was great. But, the other thing is we're talking about on the attendee side about a lot of the benefits on the vendor side of things. I really noticed a trend that honestly I was really just happy to be part of, which is vendor to vendor collaboration.
Yes.
I think there was definitely a time when it was very heavy that vendors were very competitive against each other. And I feel like there's this movement where it's friendly competition, where it's friends first, competition second. Because even just starting at the Christmas stage and all the different vendors that were willing to put something on there and let it be a collaborative experience. And then some of the other business owners that I talked to that reached out to me, throughout the show saying, "Hey, we want to talk about working together. We want to talk about doing this as a team in the future moving forward." I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. Shine did a great example of how multiple vendors can come together and put something out together where they're each, supporting a certain niche of what they do. And it's a benefit to all of us. It's a benefit to us from a business side because we get access to business that we wouldn't normally do. And it's a benefit to the attendee side because there's more really smart people all working together on the same project.
Oh, Amen. We wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for collaboration with other vendors on the show floor. I mean, I don't know how to build a birthday cake out of foam or build a
I can't make my
fireplace
on DMX to watch the Irish dancers.
Look at that beautiful cake there.
That?
Yeah. That was a gorgeous
You build it out of corn dogs, not out of foam.
Well, let's face it. We're swapping, but in setup, we're all sharing assets, right?
Oh my God.
I borrowed a couple cables from Froggy's. I think we gave you some stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't have been able to build a fireplace when literally everyone's coming together to help us on the show floor. I'm pretty sure at one point I looked like a deer.
I think that's the culture of the show at this point, right?
It is.
The culture of the show is that it's a community, right? It's a family, right? So, I mean, you're never going to get along with everyone you work with, and just like you're never going to make everyone happy. But at the same time, like every single person I spoke to on the floor of the showroom, like even if they were sold out of something, they would point me to another booth that had something similar. And so the community has grown. The community is more collaborative, and it's just such a great and refreshing thing to see, in a world where competition is king and everyone's trying to one up everybody else. And then you hit TransWorld, and it's just, I bump into people, I say sorry because I'm Canadian, and I say sorry for, like, even if I bumped into you, but just everyone was polite, everyone was chill, everyone was calm, and it's just such a great. I said to Nicole when I left, I was like, it's like my second home, and I missed it as soon as I hit the airport and I was waiting for my flight. I literally texted the TransWorld board. I was like, so when can we go back? Like,
yeah.
And I feel like I didn't see, like, it's funny because
I didn't see any of the show.
Yeah, I was talking to Katie when she.
Can you all can you email me, Scott, at Froggy's Fog, all the cool new products that you guys saw?
There's this great show. There's this great show. It's called TransWorld Live, and they got all these little snippets.
I've heard
That's
that
how
one.
I see the show.
Never heard of it before.
I've just been watching the episodes when I get back to my hotel room, and that's how I know what there was.
What you do at your hotel room at 9 p.m. and I do in my hotel room at 4 a.m. because I have to be up in 2 hours to be back on the show floor. I sleep.
Oh, no, I'm not saying to do that during the show. I'm saying I'm doing that now to get caught up for everything I missed.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys, Shane and Benito, Kate, Nate, Nicole, I guess Chris, what was your favorite part, single-handedly your favorite part of the show? And
why'd you leave Jeff?
Sorry, Jeff. God, I was doing rich. Where's
the delete button for Tater?
Your single favorite moment of the show?
Oh boy.
I can go first.
Benito's got it.
How much longer do we have on this call?
Yeah. We had a hard out at 9 o'clock, and it's now 9:10.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a couple. The first one was just watching my kid being like the first time on the show floor, being like a kid in a candy store. He went to the VR roller coaster, and then he was running through Christmas. And that even when he was sitting in the lounge playing Pokemon with Nicole's husband and giving him a hug and telling Jeremy that he's his best friend, like, that was that in of itself was amazing. Me getting a chance to meet the Illumibot guys and getting the opportunity to talk with them and figure out ways to allow the technology to work not only for haunts but for escape rooms, and how we can produce and use their products to move forward. Hiding Nicole's business partners from her staff in the IWC booth, right? Like, there were just so many moments. Like, I don't know how anyone could pick one.
Yeah.
Tater's mystery box at the auction. There's just so many moments, right?
That was your favorite. That's someone else's.
That was not my favorite. I forgot about my mystery box. If you haven't heard, I donated a box of mystery to the HAA for them to auction off, and the president of the HAA said, we'll do this as long as it doesn't go for over the amount of the item that's in the box. And I said great. And Crazy Bob opened the bidding off at $200, which is already 4 times the cost of the item in the box. And then from there it went up to $1,500, and I was panicking, trying to find the closest exit, because I know whoever won this box going to rip this box open and realize they spent $1,500 for 12 of my apples.
Although I did talk to Eddie, and Eddie was very excited about it. And I may or may not have FaceTimed my son, who, for those that don't know, my kid is the Apple King. He has something to say about everything. And I told him, and we were telling him and baiting him. And we were like, how much do you think it went for? Finally, we got to $1,600. And you know what he says? Wow. I mean, that's actually not bad, considering they are like the best apples in the world. And it is off season. It is off season. Very
Yes.
matter of fact.
They are really good. I mean,
They are really good.
He brought some of the dried like apple crisps to one of the game nights, and I was genuinely surprised, Tater. I was like, these are amazing.
Yeah.
Shannon Hops gave her opinion in the chat. Robert just flashed it there. Spencer Terry's surprising award at the Oscars and the tribute.
My favorite moment was to watch the industry legends, the Alan Hops, the Ben Armstrong, the Ed Edmonds of the industry. I mean, I saw it firsthand with Ed. Every time Ed walked into our booth, he was instantly turned into a giant kid. And just saw all the sparks of creativity flowing through him and just overwhelmed and wanted to touch and play and push the buttons and see the machine go off and ask the questions. And let's be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fog machine that shoots fog in the air or simulates a flame effect. But to watch them just forget everything that they're an industry legend and they're, to watch that was seriously some of my favorite moments of the day.
Hands down. Shane, how about you, sir?
You know, I was sitting here trying to think. It's like Benito said, well, it's really hard to just kind of pinpoint it down to one thing. I think for me, just on a vendor side, and I see this every year, is the excitement that the new people that come to the show. It's just, they are just in awe and they just, it's like they don't know which way to turn. Like, which way do I go? Where do I go next? And then it's the ones that you think is like your extended family that come in. It's like, oh, I can't, I got to have that. I've been waiting for something like this all year. And, we come in, it's like, we got this last year. Now we want to add that, where they kind of keep collecting and adding. So it's two totally, you got the veterans and the newbies, and you just kind of sitting there and you just kind of watching them all. And they're all doing the same thing, but in a different perspective. Does that make sense?
It does.
And then, and then while I'm sitting there playing with the monkey, and that didn't really sound right, but while I'm sitting there just kind of doing my thing, then watching the corn dog people.
Shaylin.
Let me tell you this. There is a dude there, and this is no joke, and y'all may know who I'm talking about. Swear, I'm raising my right hand. He buys two, and he eats it like. Do y'all know who I'm talking? Have you ever seen him? He's eating them.
His name is Larry K. Larry K.
You're stirring the pot. You're stirring the pot, and you're pulling me in on it, and I'm gonna get blamed for it. Keep it moving. But no, I swear, he eat right, left. I don't know if he's racing with one hand to the other. I promise you, next year I'm gonna announce him on the loudspeaker.
There you go.
The double eating corn dog dude is now on aisle 1400.
Shane, even before you said that, somebody did comment for Shane. It has to be watching people eating the corn dog.
Shaylin, 100%. Jeff, we got to get out of this. Jeff, how about you?
Well, I have to come up with something wholesome now, don't I?
Please.
If you don't, I'll
Okay, no, I got you. I met Katie Lane, so that was
Hey!
Hey.
You said wholesome and her name in the same sentence, Jeff. That does not go well.
What I could say? I truly actually, what's his name? Tater. Tater introduced me to some really cool people this week, and I really appreciated that. But I think there's a blend of personal and professional. I think from a personal side, being able to see people that I've been, working with, like you, Chris, honestly, like Tater, just getting to go out to dinner and connect and catch up is really an amazing part. I don't use the word family often, but I definitely feel like every time I come, like I meet more and develop more of a haunt and Christmas family, which is really, really nice. From a professional side, someone said it, I think it was Jen Rich talked about how, no, it wasn't. It was Shane. Shoot, now I have to go back to Shane. No, Shane was talking about like, everyone was talking about how you have to, every year you can't just bring the same old. You got to bring something new.
Yeah.
as someone who did that, it's terrifying. Like when you bring something brand new that no one has seen before, you're literally sitting there going, well, hope this works. Hope people like this. And that is a very scary feeling because you've put in a lot of time and a lot of money and you're like, well, I hope this doesn't fail. And so, and that was pretty much me all weekend. So from a professional standpoint, I had, we were very busy at the stage, and I had a lot of people come up and talk to me and give me great feedback on what we were doing. But I had this one person that I just cannot stop thinking about because he comes up, big smile on his face, and he's like, "This is exactly what we're looking for." And that was definitely a moment. I was like, okay, we succeeded. It's not a failure, because, to have that emotional connection, where they're so excited to talk to you because of something you put a lot of love and energy into is very validating. And so that was nice. And then to kind of cap it off on the personal note, we had this one girl, she must have been 10, 11, 12 years old, who came to every single Irish dance show and the Christmas party. And in the show, if you didn't see it, they do these, they'll do a guest interaction where they'll invite someone to like get up and like dance a little bit. And they all, like every time she was there, they'd always try to pick her, and her dancing got better and better every performance. And it just made her day. And she was there. I mean, what do we do? 10, 12 shows. She was there for 10, 12 shows. So this show is fascinating because it touches us all very differently. It gives us the opportunity to demonstrate new products. It gives us the opportunity to build our families, and then from the attendee side, it gives you the opportunity to buy things and see things that you've never seen before. And it doesn't matter whether you just want to buy it or you want to learn about it, right? I think Chris and I talked about that. You can come to this show looking for parts and pieces, or you can come to this show looking for ideas, or you can come to this show looking for providers. And honestly, like none of us are afraid of any of that. We're not looking at the parts and pieces people going, "Ooh, that's going to take away from my business," right? You look at the parts and pieces people and go, "Hey, here's someone I can love on and share passion with," and if you are a parts and pieces person, that's the person for you. Obviously, that's not the person for me. But all of that really combines into this show that's just very unique. Was that wholesome enough? I feel like
that was great.
That you did great.
It's true. I'm not like I believe every word of it, but yeah, I mean it's this. There's something for everybody here, and it doesn't always happen, but you leave the ego behind and you leave the drama behind, I hope, and then you go spend some time with Tater, and then that all comes back, and so it's great.
Man, it's so funny. Chris, I wrote a list to stay pointed, okay?
I love it. Hit us with it.
All right. So for me, this year was trying to combat the problem of not seeing people, right? I at least physically saw all of these folks and a lot of other folks because I actually walked the entire floor on Thursday. Like in that short period of time, I was speed walking, and sometimes it was, "Hey, how are you?" And then but I actually wanted to see the whole floor because it's been years since I've actually seen all of it. Also making time, right? I made time for people and also made time for a lot of attendees to kind of listen, see what people are doing currently in their lives and their projects, and how we can kind of help them either for the board side or TransWorld side or just in general. This year was very cup filling for me in a lot of ways, and seeing a lot of people and kind of, again, catching up with them, seeing where people are going, what they've done, where they're going, and what they're doing. The Adventures of Intrigue party was a lot of fun. We got to dress up. Haven't had a dress up party in quite some time.
Viva Vermicelli.
With an awesome elevator, by the way.
Yes, very, very cool. The Lounge and Learn. I'm very proud of the Lounge and Learn this year. I mean, it was again, this is something that's been going on for, I think this is its fourth year. And it's been kind of a slow build, right? It's hard to get new things up and going and get people responding. This year, I feel like people were responding in a big way. We were able to pull in some really big names to sit and have some intimate conversations with. Shout out Benito and board. And then workshops. We brought workshops back on the interactive side, and again, that was a labor of love to get them there. And also, like, there was so much that happened and so much knowledge that was able to be shared in those workshops that I'm very much looking forward to debriefing with Jen and the rest of the team and kind of talking about what we can do to bring more of those back for folks and kind of expand on that more. So
That's a great list.
mic drop.
That's a
There you
great list.
You go, girl.
Well, y'all were kept talking. I had time to write it all down.
There you go.
I love it. I love it.
I think she forgot corn dogs on her list.
Corn dogs.
Corn dogs. Corn dogs.
Corn dogs and monkeys.
I'll add to that. I think that's the reason, all jokes aside, that TransWorld has just stood the test of time, because everybody generally or genuinely loves everybody. We all work together. Somebody needs something, you help them. You're just a big family, and I'll add that too. That's another thing for me. I love seeing all you guys every year. It's just kind of like the family reunion, and I do think that's definitely sets this trade show apart from any other, because every year it's grew. We've all grew. We've got older. We've got to know each other better, and it's just the family's kind of grown, and you just don't see that with fly-by-night shows. And now we can go to the part where, and this portion of the show is brought to you by the corn dog sponsor.
I
love it.
Say, I think the biggest thing about the show is that we're like the dysfunctional family that no one knows that exists, but we're all there with each other. And having this year, I actually had family help us build the booth this year just because we need an extra pair of hands. And literally my sister looked at us and went, I don't know how you guys all do it, but everyone that works at this show is a machine. Like, are you guys robots? Like, are you real? Because she was like, I don't get, like, I don't understand. And I'm like, welcome to TransWorld. Like, this is
It's all AI.
This is how we do. Like, but she was like, it's also amazing watching everyone come together on the show floor and just like, she's like, you can't walk 10 feet without like being stopped.
Yes.
Because someone knows someone, or they're like, oh my God, I heard this, like, or, oh, I saw the success you guys had, like, great job. Like, it's also everyone's sharing and everyone else's successes, which is just an amazing thing to see on the show floor.
I mean, we may give each other endless amounts of crap on this show behind the scenes through text messages. I menaced the heck out of the Graffiti Effects team.
Yes, you did.
This year.
Yes, you did.
With great pride.
But you're also a menace.
Ultimately, we are all just one big family that loves each other and just wants to spend time with each other. Right. And if that takes me insulting and snatching a breakfast apple out of somebody's hand from Graffiti Effects and throwing it angrily in the trash can and walking away, that's what it is. But we're ultimately one big happy family. And as my friend Alan says, when the tide comes in, all the ships float to the top. So,
well, guys,
right?
It sounds like it, but
yeah, it sounds like
so. Guys, we have about 5 minutes left, and I know we can talk forever. Just want to give your final points, your thoughts as we kind of wrap up this year's TransWorld. And I know 5 minutes isn't fair, but maybe there's a product or an interaction or an event. Like, what do you take home as one of your biggest happinesses?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please.
Oh, yeah.
Who the hell are you?
Right? I'm just your noise.
That's the Queen of Halloween or Princess of Halloween. You introduced her.
So for me, I thought the premiere of the Fright stuff was amazing because not only was it culminating so many haunt histories and different vendors present, but it also touched on like 10 years worth of TransWorlds in different clips and vignettes. I mean, you had vendors in there that haven't existed anymore. You had like different people that unfortunately have passed on from this industry. Like it was like a perfect like time capsule of like how the show has grown and this industry as a whole has progressed.
And MHC at the Columbus Convention Center. Did anyone else pick up on the clips from that? Because I was like, oh, that's Greater Columbus Convention Center.
Yep.
That was cool.
I'd say one of the coolest moments I had was I was talking to another vendor at a show about some props and all that stuff. And we talked about our flame mist. So we brought him over to our booth. And there's about 4 or 5 of us sitting together. And I bet we were there for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden he looks down at me and goes, "Oh my God, you're Nathan." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my check. That's what my leg says." And he goes, "It's Jackson." And I was like, "Who?" And I looked. We worked together 15 years ago at a major theme park. And he was
one of your employees, right?
He was one of my employees 15 years ago. We worked together. So just the fact that the world is so small and this industry is so nitpicked, and it's just amazing to see how people come together in different ways later on.
Amen. Just going clockwise here. Benito, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it enough. This actual TransWorld Live has put a smile on my face and made me maybe miss you all a little bit less. And then as soon as no, because I get a chance to see you guys, right?
Recovery.
Yeah, you meant it in a nice way, you guys.
I mean, I'm married, so I know how to talk my way out of a jam. And she's watching, so I'm probably in trouble when I get home.
And she's amazing.
But no, I mean, like, this is gonna hold me over for like 2 more days, so I'm gonna have to watch TransWorld Live again next week so that I can, I can't say enough good things. There are a lot of other conferences out there. Nothing will beat this one in my experience, and I'm not just saying that as a volunteer member of the board. She just wrote rude in the comments. I'm so dead later. Honey, thanks, Chris and Robert. Great. No, we had to. Like there's not enough good that I can say without sounding like this is a paid advertisement. I find that all 3 industries work so well together and move in the same direction to make it the best that it can be. And whether you've been to TransWorld before and you had a good time or didn't have a good time, or whether you've never been before, you got to go at least once. And I can probably say that Jen, Rich, and all 3 boards are going to work really, really hard to make sure that next year is going to be the best one yet, without sounding, again, like the same things that are said year over year.
Amen. Tater?
Yeah, buddy, I forgot the question.
I'm so glad you said that, because I did too.
What is one moment or an event or an interaction that's going to fuel you until we get to East Coast Hunters?
I've said it before, and without getting too mushy, and I think some of these people in this room will understand. Nicole didn't actually get to do it this year, but the Sunday night dinner is where everything comes together, and you just realize how lucky you are to be together with the group that you're in, with the family that you're in, and the industry you're in, and we owe it really all to Jen and Rich. It's really the best show. So that Sunday night dinner is because of Jen and Rich. It would never happen without Jen and Rich.
Amen. Nicole, I don't know how you're going to follow that up, but
yeah, suck on that, Nicole. Huh?
How about them apples? Okay, so for me, it was actually the amount of people, just because this year, I mean, again, I'm always running around, I'm always crazy, but the amount of people that were like, I've actually been trying to meet you for years. And I was like, me for what? And just no matter what it was, right? Whether it was things that they heard on TransWorld Live or things that I've spoke about before, just other things, and having those interactions and being accessible made me realize something that I kind of already known, and I'm sure you guys all know, but I'm going to call it out because it's just so important that people realize it. And, Benito, you talked about, it's about what you take from it, right? And it's about what you lean into. And I have to say, when you do lean in, one thing you're going to realize is that all 3 industries are made up of individuals who genuinely care. They genuinely care about what they do. They genuinely care about the people that they work with, work for, and what they're trying to create. And what it actually is, this culture is in fact a whole bunch of people that genuinely get excited when you win. They want to cheer you on. They want to be part of it. They love hearing about, the trials, the tribulations, and even, all of the thrilling things that you're doing. And it's never, I mean, maybe for Tater, but it's never like a catty, like, oh yeah, that's so nice. No, it's literally like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, you should be so excited and so proud of yourself. And those are the cool things that you're doing. And being able to even say, like, for Tater, one of his things that he does for me all the time is, oh my God, you got to meet this person, right?
Yes.
You have to hear what they're doing. You need to see what they're, what they're producing and whatever it is. But I think this year I've had some time to kind of think about it and reflect a little bit more, and just how incredible so many of these people are, and how lucky we all are to not only be a part of it, but to get to flourish in this environment in a big way.
Amen.
How was that, Tater?
Yeah, I hate you.
Nicole, I thought you had it rough, Jeff. It's just that much worse now. How do you follow that up?
All right. I did way too much at TransWorld this year. Let's be honest. Like running the stage, having a booth in Halloween, teaching, all of that. I did way too much. And I definitely had a moment where I was going to lose it. And Tater came in and like, hand to God was like, I'm going to save you. And it was and truly, I mean, we've all been ragging on him, so I'm gonna end it with that. Is say, Tater invited me for the first time to the Sunday night dinner, and I don't think I needed that more than anybody on this call for that one. For that, I stretched myself very, very thin, and TransWorld kind of helps you get out of your comfort zone. Like I'm very comfortable teaching, but I'm very uncomfortable at the Marriott, right? Like just like those two environments do not jive for me. And Tater has always been someone I can lean on to both push me out of my comfort zone, but then also throw a net out or a trampoline when I feel like I'm falling. And so for that, that's one example. I'm one person, he's one person, but you consider the tens of thousands of people that attend this show, and the reality that to do what we do in these three industries, y'all got to be a little screwed up somehow. And so we're all
perfect. What are you talking about?
You're perfect, except for you. You're perfect. But we're all doing that. We're all putting out our art. We're all living through our traumas. We're all and I have Tater, and so Tater has someone, and someone has someone, and you link all that together, and that's what makes the TransWorld family.
Amen.
Mic drop.
Amen.
Okay, great job.
I can't wait to
corn dogs.
And corn dogs. You throw that in the middle. It's great.
Shane, the floor is yours, sir.
I've done forgot the question again.
What is going to fuel you until we get to East Coast Honors? What interaction or event or what happened that just keeps your passion burning?
The corn dogs.
Let me say this first of all. Clearly, I was back upstairs being hid because I wasn't at no Sunday night dinner. So y'all go ahead and have your Sunday night dinners because I wasn't invited. But
that's okay.
I was locked up in the attic, but don't worry about me. I'll be okay. I think the thing that's going to keep me going will be I think just knowing it's just less than a little over a month away, I guess.
That's right. That's
right. And I will say this. Y'all know the conference center don't want me to bring in cookies because it upsets them. But East Coast Christmas Convention will see the return of the cookies.
Better get one.
Yes. Amen, Shane. Well, it's such a pleasure to hang out with all of you and to be able to get your thoughts and be able to kind of go through everything. If I had to give my answer before somebody prompts about it, it's that all of us get tired. We're humans, like we're physically tired, but you just get so driven when you get to see your friends. And sometimes you only get to see your friends for a fraction of a second. And for each of you, I only had a moment, like I talked about earlier, like Tater had brought me a gift and I ran into the booth. I was working, he was working. we literally locked eyes for a few minutes and then didn't see each other for another couple of days. And that actually fueled me even more because I know how much each of us and all of our vendors and all of our exhibitors and everybody that works so hard from our TransWorld team, from our Blue Coats, from everybody just to make sure that our customers have the best experience. So it's not just about the products that they buy. It's not just about what they take home in their suitcases and in their trunks. It's about the experiences, the memories, and that feeling that they are welcome, that this is their family, and you can come back every year. In fact, we insist that you're there. And that just passions and fuels, and I can't wait until we get to East Coast because we'll get to see each other for a glimpse of a second because we all got work to do, and we got to take care of our people. So to everybody that came, we love you. Thank you so much. And we can't do it without you.
I didn't get a gift, but I'm not saying nothing else.
Shane, I got you the same thing I got you last year, only bigger.
Now,
And we wouldn't be able to do it without the Blue Coats. I'm going to be honest.
Amen.
Like
That's
those
so
Blue Coats. Like
Shout
let
out
me tell you.
to the Blue Coats and Robert, who is hiding behind the scenes. Who
Yeah.
intentionally put me in timeout. I'm convinced of that. Let it happen again, Robert, and see what happens.
Has Robert ever put his own camera on here? We should meet
He
him.
has. He has. Oh, Tater's gone.
Oh, Tater's time out!
The replacement of Robert. Here we go.
Guys, Robert is the glue that brings us all together. We can't do this show without him. Every day that we work with him more and more, and as our final segment here, just a tribute to him, he's running around. He is the voice of God at times. He's taking pictures. There he is.
There he is. Do it again, Robert, and see what happens.
You were still technically on camera. I just turned off your camera, so we could have heard you if you said something inappropriate.
Should we end the show with sending everyone away except Tater? Just leave him on.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we do that, mark your calendars if you didn't see the posters. March 26th to the 29th of 2026. Make sure you start making your room reservations to whatever hotel you want to get to, and make sure you are with us.
You can't make your room reservations until.
No, there we go. Make sure it's on your calendar.
Year in advance. Keep it on your calendar.
Correct. Yep.
So look for March 26th of this year, or 25th if you're coming in early, or 24th. So we appreciate all of you, and we hope that we see all of you here on Tuesday and every Tuesday as we start the road to East Coast Haunters Convention. So we're super excited about that. Again, thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you watching. We can't do this without you. And of course, everybody that was a part of TransWorld 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you.